Hello and welcome to my Revelations 2012 Let's Play. Revelations 2012 is our 4-player, first-person cooperative shooter made in the Source engine, released by Dark Arts Entertainment in April of the titular year. From that description, most of you are probably getting a Left 4 Dead sort of vibe from the game, and your feelings will only be confirmed as we proceed through the game. And we have two modes of gameplay, campaign both online and off, and some online thing that absolutely nobody plays. We have 3 campaigns to choose from, with 2 supposedly being added in at a later date with a patch, but that will likely never ever pan out. Also, this game is pretty hard, so I'm going to be playing on easy unless stated otherwise. And with that, let's begin the first level of the game, the Temple of Sacrifice.
In ancient Mayan prophecy, on December 21st, 2012, the gods will return during the Dark Galactic Alignment. It is foretold that 4 warriors will rise up to defeat evil and free mankind from enslavement. You have been brought here to fulfill that prophecy. I am the High Priest of Ixchel, sent here to advise you.
Wow, I feel better.
The armor you now possess has been given to you by Ixchel, the Protector. It has the power to destroy gods and to capture their crystal
Glad we got
essence.
out of there.
Collect the souls of your vanquished enemies to charge the crystals in your armor. You will find weapons scattered along your path that are worshipped as idols. Be careful, as these godly trinkets are protected by warriors and demons. Your primary objective is to search and obtain these crystal skulls. Collection of these crystal skulls will unlock areas to advance your quest and summon the gods. Go now and fulfill your destiny.
Kelly? What just happened?
So, commit mass genocide of Mesoamericans and then kill a couple of gods. Sounds like fun, honestly. It's a fairly unique premise for a game, that's for sure. Now, if the HUD at this point isn't absolutely screaming Left 4 Dead at you because you've not played Left 4 Dead or something, this is more or less a extremely low-budget and slightly racist Left 4 Dead mod with every single redeeming factor of Left 4 Dead removed or bastardized in some way. And take a look at that absolutely disgraceful pop-in with shrubs literally fading into existence approximately 3 feet from my face. Stellar game programming, Dark Arts.
To keep out intruders, traps and challenges have been constructed. You must avoid these traps and pass the challenges to move ahead on your journey. Keep a lookout for any hints along the way.
Okay, so traps. Interesting. Aha, and we can see ammo containers. These are color-coded by weapon, and we shall be running into more weapons soon. And here is our first trap. The heads, they shoot arrows at timed intervals, and you can just kind of run past them. The timing is actually quite tight on them, especially when you're being besieged by enemies, because when you get hit you stop in place, so it's a bit tough to avoid getting hit. And this brings up a rather pertinent problem with this game, and the fact that there's an almost complete lack of post-damage and vulnerability. When you get hit, you take every fucking hit that actually, struck you. Whereas in Left 4 Dead, you kind of had a certain grace period before you took damage again. This game doesn't have that. Which means if you get struck by one of those on the higher difficulties, you will die almost immediately. On Expert, if you get hit by one of those, you die basically instantly. It's ridiculous. But regardless, you can crouch under them, even though it doesn't actually work that well if you happen to be on sort of incline, as it were. And yes, your health power-up in this game, human hearts. You devour them to recover health. And the Maya are supposed to be the savages in this game. Or the demons, as the game called. They're clearly Maya. So yeah, that's kind of uncomfortable. And there is a statue in the middle of the room. That statue is actually a mid-boss, and by a mid-boss I mean the only mid-boss, because the game recycles him about, 20 times by the end of it? Yes, the Juggernaut. There he is in all his glory. He is a big hulking motherfucker who has a stomp attack that freezes you in place and prevents you from shooting as well as moving. It's a touch irritating. He can also stun lock you pretty badly, which is why this game is super difficult. On Expert, it's basically impossible. Now, at this point, I'm hurt pretty badly, so you can smash pots and you can eat the hearts of your fallen enemies to gain health that give idiosyncratic amounts of health back for some reason. And there's more ammo, lovely. When you're out of ammo on this gun, you just fire slower, you don't actually stop firing. Every other gun, you just can't fire it, though.
You must defeat the servants of Ik. They will stop at nothing to sacrifice you to their god. Keep your distance from these warriors, as they are deadly in close-range combat. Empowered by the flying serpent, priestesses have the knowledge of poison. At a distance, they can cast a deadly ball of venom. Be careful to avoid their toxic fury.
That tutorial type thing is technically true, but somewhat misleading. They don't actually poison you, they just have a ranged attack. Also, the text "save point has been reached" was kind of obscured behind the subtitles there. There are checkpoints in this game. It's quite handy, considering how difficult this game is.
These crystal skulls can be used to communicate to their god from their highest priests. When all of the skulls are brought together, they have the power to summon the god into physical form. Go now and retrieve the last skull in this area.
And when we collect the skull, Berserk power-ups appear. And when this is picked up, it gives us a slight yellow tint around the screen and drastically increases our fire rate, which when combined with the new shotgun we just picked up, tears through the hordes of enemies like nobody's business. And here we can see the priestess enemies chucking their ranged attack at us. And a new enemy that you can see, the Warboar. He charges a bit and sort of stops, and if you're near him when he hits a hard surface or he hits you, you'll stumble a bit and take a lot of damage. Think the Charger from Left 4 Dead, only nowhere near as intelligent or as interesting. Now, along with checkpoints, the Berserk power-up is one of two things Dark Arts added with a fairly recent patch, in order to make the game less frustrating, because at launch basically nobody liked the thing. I didn't at first. The recent patches, though, have made the game far more enjoyable. It's actually on the level of something I quite like playing now. I mean, it's not a good game, not by any means, don't get me wrong, but it's quite fun in the sense it's like watching a bad B-movie. Put it that way. And now we've solved that rather simplistic puzzle, honestly, and acquired the last skull of the level, of which you must collect all of them, otherwise you won't be allowed to exit the stage. The end result of this is that it has alerted the Horde, and it sends a rather paltry number of enemies my way. I don't think the game engine can actually handle too many at once.
Great work. You have found the last skull in this area. Be careful as you progress this way. The gods have powerful witches and demons in their control. Ishtab's most loyal female servants are known as vixens. They have been bestowed the power to summon and control demonoids. You must be quick to destroy her staff, or you will be overrun by demonoids from the underworld.
An explanation of a new enemy type while I go forward too far and get my ass kicked for my hubris. Standard stuff. Anyway, the Vixens, they summon demonoids, which are the more undead-looking enemies in the crowd. They're basically an upgraded version of the basic melee enemies we've been fighting so far. They're a bit hardier and they deal a bit more damage. And there's a Vixen right there, summoning demonoids. You can see their staves through the wall as they glow yellow. It's quite a handy feature, actually. I have to applaud Dark Arts for that. I can imagine that being a frustrating thing otherwise. And as you can see, we're having on-fire javelins lobbed at us at an exceedingly fast pace. We also gained a laser gun, which I will put to great usage here, with my amazingly pro sniper skills, as it were, and a haste power-up. This, unsurprisingly, makes us run faster. It's a fairly standard power-up, and at this point we've pretty much seen the sights of the Temple of Sacrifice. There's not much more interesting around here, so we might as well use our new haste power-up to get a move on to the exit. Ah, of course, we're not quite done yet, now are we? There's one last puzzle to solve. It's telling us to remove the noses. It refers to the little hook things on the walls of the temple. You have to shoot them to get them to fall down. This puzzle was way more confusing until they patched the game to actually display an image of the thing you're supposed to knock down. I couldn't figure it out at first at all. Maybe I'm just stupid. But yeah, we've solved the puzzle and the stage is basically over at this point. Hope you enjoyed this first episode. I'll see you next time.
Once you have collected all of the crystal skulls in any given area, stand on this portal pad to continue on to your next quest.
What a great team we make.